Hey everyone, it's John here with another video. Today we're going to do an in-depth side-by-side comparison to help you find the perfect microphone setup for your online business. The truth is, whether you're starting a podcast, a YouTube channel, or just sitting on a bunch of Zoom calls all day long, audio is easily the most important factor that leads to the quality of the content. Now, just a quick disclaimer. I am not an audio engineer. I'm just a normal guy who wants to make sure I have a great quality sound out of the content I create online. So please be kind in the comment section down below if I use a slightly incorrect term along the way. So here's what we'll be covering in this video. First, I'll show you the 5 different microphones we'll be comparing and why I chose these specific microphones for the test. Next, we'll give each microphone a good listen to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly of each device. Finally, I'll give you my personal opinion, who each microphone is right for, so you can make an informed decision by the end of the video. Okay, with that out of the way, let's take a quick look at the equipment we'll be comparing in this video. So first up is the microphone that I'm currently using as my daily driver for the past 5 or more years. This is the ATR 2100 USB Cardio Dynamic Microphone USB XLR microphone. It's also the microphone I'm using right now in this video. It's not a new microphone, and when I bought it, it cost me only about $60, but it's been a solid performer for doing technical tutorials, podcast interviews, and everything else I've done as a technical software reviewer for the past several years. It plugs in with a simple USB cable to your computer, and you're good to go. No additional software to install, and it even includes a 3.5mm headphone jack to plug into your own headphone monitors, which is really convenient. Next up is the first of our 2 shotgun style microphones. This is the Rode VideoMicro compact on-camera microphone. It's an incredibly small and unintrusive microphone that sits nicely on top of your DSLR to improve audio, or it could be positioned just above your head and out of frame of the shot for a YouTube video to give you the best sounding audio quality. You can pick this up for about $55 right now on Amazon, which is an absolute steal. It's an easy investment for anyone, but will the quality be good enough to justify its purchase? We'll find out today. The second shotgun microphone we'll be testing is the Rode VideoMic Go on-camera microphone. This is basically the big brother to the VideoMicro, and you can pick it up on Amazon for about $85. Both of these shotgun microphones come well reviewed on Amazon, so I figured it would be a good idea to test them out side by side to see what additional quality you get for a few more dollars invested. Moving on to the next category, we have lavalier microphones, or lapel mics, and I'll be testing out 2 devices here as well. The first up is the Rode Lavalier Go professional grade wearable microphone. Everyone is familiar with lavalier microphones. They clip onto your shirt, they stay out of your way, and they do a decent job of picking up sound. Because I can sometimes speak a lot with my hands, I was curious if this little microphone would give me the freedom I'd like while screencasting, writing on a whiteboard, or the like. This mic is about $100 on Amazon, which makes it on the upper end of what I think most would be willing to invest in their startup gear. And the last microphone we'll be playing with is kind of a lavalier, and it kind of isn't. This is the Rode Wireless Go. This is an entirely wireless system, including a clip-on microphone, wireless transmitter, and receiver, and it's absolutely tiny. You can pick it up for around $200 on Amazon, which makes it the most expensive tool on the list today, but I felt like it was worth including, because not only can it be used as an all-in-one microphone system, but it can also extend the functionality of any other microphone you use. For example, you can plug the Rode VideoMicro into the transmitter and have a complete wireless freedom to pick up sound outdoors. You get the idea. It's a really awesome little device. All right, now that we know what we're playing with, let's dive into the audio test. Now, I know that most of the standard audio test is just to read some boring tongue twister over and over and over again, but I'm a dad, and I kind of like dad jokes. So I'm going to try to make you laugh today. Let me know in the comments down below which of these jokes, if any, actually made you laugh. The first up is this microphone I'm talking in right now, which is the ATR 2100, and I will read some dad jokes for the dads that love nature. All right, let's dive in. Why don't crabs give to charity? Because they're shellfish. Why did a man name his dogs Rolex and Timex? Because they were watchdogs. Da-doonch. What did the evil chicken lay? Deviled eggs. What's the best way to watch a fly fishing tournament? Live stream. My wife asked me to sink her phone, so I threw it in the ocean. I don't know why she's so mad at me. All right, hope you enjoyed those. We'll give a listen to all of these once we're done to find out which is the winner. So next, I'll switch over to the Rode VideoMicro. Here we go. All right, so next up we have the Rode VideoMicro, which is just off camera here above the frame, and I've got some food-inspired dad jokes, all right? And also, I can talk with my hands now because the microphone is out of my way. All right, here we go. I got hit in the head with a can of diet soda today. Don't worry, I'm not hurt. It was a soft drink. Why do melons have weddings? Because they can't elope. Ah, that's actually kind of a good one. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." It's a thinker. Are you cooking out this weekend? Don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, that's like cringeworthy. All right, so that was the Rode VideoMicro. I'll come back with the thoughts on that one once I listen to it. Let's go to the Rode VideoMic Go. All right, I've got the Rode VideoMic Go camera plugged in here. It's a little bit closer to me. It's actually in the frame. You can see it from this view here. And I've got some really groan-worthy jokes for you. All right, so do I enjoy making courthouse puns? Guilty. That's a bad one. I want to go on record that I support farming. As a matter of fact, you could call me a protractor. These are bad. Can February March? No, but April May. Not sure if you have noticed, but I love bad puns. That's just how I roll. I get it? I roll. Ugh. The rotation of the Earth really makes my day. Because the Earth rotation creates a day. Okay. All right, that's it. So moving on, I'll give you my review of this in just a second, but we're going to move into the lapel microphones next. The first one up being the clip on the shirt. Here we go. All right, so now I've got my lapel microphone on here. You can see dab, dab, dab. And we've got some internationally inspired dad jokes. Here we go. I read that by law, you must turn on your headlights when it's raining in Sweden. But how am I supposed to know when it's raining in Sweden? A little international law joke there. What's the least spoken language in the world? Sign language. Yeah. What do you call a hippie's wife? Mississippi. That might be my favorite one of all these. Mississippi. I searched for a lighter on Amazon, and all I could find was 401 matches. Like a search query match. All right, I'm not really feeling that set of jokes there. It's okay, but this is how the microphone sounds. I'll come back afterwards and give you my review of each one. Next up is a different one. It's the Rode Wireless Go. Let's check it out right now. All right, so now I've got the Rode Wireless Go on, and this is a really cool form factor. It's this little box on your shirt. Now, if I were recording this for a real video where I wasn't trying to talk about this device, I would flip it around so you only saw a little bit of the clip on the outside of my shirt like that. But, you know, this is about this microphone, so I leave it outside. Okay, so let's read some of whatever else I could find, like dredging the bottom of the barrel here. So, I was addicted to Hokey Pokey, but I turned myself around. We all know about Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But have you heard of Cole's Law? It's thinly sliced cabbage. Cole's Law. Yeah. As an engineer, I really like that joke. All right. I began to read a horror novel in Braille. Something bad is about to happen. I can feel it because you feel Braille. Yeah. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, but no atmosphere on the moon. What do you call someone with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. Okay. All right. So once again, please let me know if any of those jokes tickled you at all in the comments down below. I must be getting a little bit older because I liked almost all of them. All right. So I'm going to listen to each one of these recordings and then I will respond back to it and give you my opinions about the sound quality using the microphone of the recording I just listened to. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the ATR 2100, and I'll be talking into this guy right now. All right, so listening through the ATR 2100 audio clips, or the jokes there, I really do like the brightness in my voice that comes out. It does a couple of things right. Because of the build of this microphone, it's a directional microphone, which means it's going to cancel out noise really well that comes from the opposite end of the microphone. So right now I'm recording this on a desktop computer. The computer is on the ground as far away as I could get it from everything else, but there's a lot of noise in this room. And because this form factor, it's able to separate that pretty well. But again, the downside is I've got a microphone right here in my face, which is not ideal for doing things like YouTube videos where you might knock it and make some noise along the way. But overall, I can see why I've been using this microphone, and I really stopped looking for a long time at an improvement because this does a lot of things right and it sounds good. I can get it a little bit further back and you can notice a drop off in quality. I could probably get it entirely out of the frame like that, and it probably sounds okay as well. But if I'm going to go for a device like this, I may as well get the best out of it. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is the Rode VideoMicro, and I'll switch to that right now. All right, I put the ATR down and I've got the Rode VideoMicro, which is active right now, and I listened through the jokes, and the jokes are bad, but the microphone's really good. So right now I have it purposefully in the frame. You can see a little bit like that, right? But in reality, it would be totally out of the frame, which is really convenient if you want to make YouTube videos and be able to use your hands. Or if you have multiple monitors and you want to be able to see the different monitors and not like have this big thing in your way, it's kind of nice having it out of frame. And it did a very good job. I have it trying to point to the upper part of my chest, which should get the most richness of my vocal cords and the sounds coming out of me. Again, not an audio engineer, but this is what I've learned on the Google and on YouTube myself. Pretty good stuff. And I really like what comes out. A couple things I noticed that the ATR does better than the VideoMicro is that clicking sounds. So if I click around a little bit or make some noise down on my desk like this, I'm more likely to pick it up from this microphone than from the USB microphone because like it's directional in nature, right? So the Rode VideoMicro will try to cancel things out from behind it, but all the noise of me actually working, so for example, I teach technical stuff, I'm typing on a keyboard while I'm talking, just directionally, because this microphone is coming from below, is doing a better job of canceling out some of the mouse noises and the keyboard noises and things like that. And the directional mic on the ATR, or on the VideoMicro, is directly picking that up because it is the direction that it's pointing in. So it's something to be aware of. It's still doing a good job of canceling out things like air conditioning noise and all of that. And for the price point of this and the convenience that I could put it onto a DSLR and go take a home movie outside or use it here, I'm really, really impressed with the value and the ease of use of the Rode VideoMicro. All right, next up we'll go into the Rode shotgun mic, which is this guy, and we'll kind of put him to his paces. I'll give it a listen and give you my review right now. All right, so I've got the Rode VideoMic Go Pro, or whatever it's called. Again, it's all in the description down below. I've got it plugged in right now. I listened through the jokes. Again, jokes stink, but the microphone was very good as well. Between this and the Rode VideoMicro here, I can't really say there's a clear winner. I think there's just a different sound between the two of them because this has its own kind of built-in windscreen built on. I feel like it has a little bit more of a muddled sound, but it also does a better job of like canceling out a little bit of the noise from around it. Like the PC was a bit more muted than I feel like I was able to pick up some hums using this guy. But again, to be fair, this does come with a free, I think it's called a Dead Kitten, which is like absolutely terrible naming system there, but it's a little windscreen that goes on top and it also does a good job, but then it also makes the microphone bigger in size and has to be further away, which then degrades the audio, so it's kind of a give or take. There's not enough noise in this room to justify me using it, so I left it off for the test. All right, so overall, I think this is a very good microphone as well. Set and forget, very nice, a lot of things to like. Is it worth the additional money? I don't know. Find out in the final thoughts in the end. Let's go ahead on to the next one, which is this lapel microphone here. I'll plug this on and we'll start talking about those jokes in that microphone. Okay, so this is a very different microphone from the shotguns and the USB for a couple of reasons. One is when I first started listening to it again, I could audibly tell it wasn't as high of a quality as the other two. And again, this is just my own ears working here. You might feel differently, let me know in the comments down below, but I felt it was instantly more muddled from my voice, as well as a bit more just noise around the room was getting picked up on this microphone. It's not my favorite so far. However, there are some benefits to this type of a setup where if you wanted to do interviews, if you wanted to maybe teach, so I've got a whiteboard over there where we're going through a different course video talking about different marketing aspects, and this was the microphone I used because the shotgun would work if I'm addressing the camera directly, but as soon as I turn around to talk to the board or if I'm looking at something while speaking to the audience, this is where you want to be. So this is a bit more of a situational use where the absolute pristine quality of the audio is not as important as getting good enough but consistently getting that good enough audio. So if you're teaching in front of a lecture hall, you're doing interviews, things like that, this is a good place to be. Obviously, we've seen this all on news anchors and as backup microphones. Let's say, for example, this guy fails or somebody trips on the cable or the stand falls down. This is a nice one to have, and you just put it on the person and you're good, okay? So it's not a bad microphone. Of the quality, so far this is not leading the pack, especially at $100 for this mic. Wouldn't be the one I would necessarily recommend in the beginning. We'll get to that in the end. Let's go ahead and finish up with the last one, which is the Rode Wireless Go. Let me show you guys this one. So this is the Rode Wireless Go. It's a twofer. So this one here is the microphone. You clip it onto yourself. This one can monitor and transmit the audio and collect it and send it into the mixer. All right, let's go ahead and check it out right now. All right, so I've got the Rode Wireless Go clipped on the other way around I said I would earlier in the video, and I gotta admit, I'm really enjoying the quality of this microphone. Again, it's not as going to be like this guy, where it's this big old device just for capturing sound and it has a shock mount and all these other things to make the audio better. This is just clipping on to my chest and is picking up sound coming from this direction, right? Because that's where the microphone is. But it sounds really good. Now, there might be some clipping in the audio right now. There's a lot of levels for me to adjust in between recording, but I think this is good enough. Let me just bring it down just a little bit here. So overall, the audio is clear. You get a lot of benefits of this form factor where I could put this on top of the camera and go around and still get the benefits of teaching to the whiteboard or looking down at the iPad or whatever the different setting you're in. But the downsides of being a wireless mic is you got two batteries you got to charge. So you got to plug these things into a USB-C charger probably after every use, just to be clear. You know, Murphy's Law, like one of the jokes is if something can go wrong, it will. So in general, if you want to be in a static environment, like in front of a computer to create content, I don't think this form factor is the way to go. But if you have a bit more of a versatile need, like if you maybe are teaching fitness and you want to have no cables around the way and the shotgun mic is not going to be able to track you when you're doing burpees or something like that. I don't know if you could talk when you're doing burpees, but this form factor is brilliant for that. It's not exactly my form factor. I want a bit more higher audio quality, and I'm happy to be stationary in a spot while recording the audio. So no knocking to this device, but for your specific use case, it might not be the right one. And at the price point of about $200 being the most expensive setup, it's got a high hurdle for the beginners to invest into. But I bought it because I've got 3 kids. We like to make little fun, hokey home movies outside in the backyard. So I can hook this on, and then depending on whatever else I want to use, I normally just clip this onto my daughter or my son's shirt, and we rock and roll and have a great time. All right, so now let's go and give some final impressions of all of these and the overall conclusion of the video. So the big question is this: which microphone should you use for creating your content? And while I'd love to give you a simple, single response, I think the truth is that it depends. If you want to primarily focus on overall audio quality, maybe for a podcast or technical tutorials where you don't mind having a big microphone in the shot, a simple dynamic USB microphone like the ATR 2100 would be a solid option. It's why I've used it for so long. But it comes with drawbacks. You need to be comfortable with having a big microphone in the shot at all times. And what about if you want to be able to record when you're out and about or not just in front of a computer? From my testing, I'm very pleased with the Rode VideoMicro. I personally wouldn't use it for a podcast as I feel it doesn't capture all the same level of depth as the USB dynamic microphone did, but if you've never heard them side by side, you may never have noticed. Also, at the low price and the ability to connect right into your camera gives you even more flexibility than you'd get out of a simple USB mic. I also love how the shotgun microphones allow you to create a set and forget setup. No cables to clip onto yourself, no batteries to charge, and you can position the microphone just out of frame so it doesn't distract your audience. If you could only buy one device and have an absolute shoestring budget, I think the Rode VideoMicro is perfectly acceptable for YouTube videos, Zoom calls, and even podcasts with a little bit of audio post-processing. Now, both versions of the lapel microphones offer decent audio quality, but I'll be honest, I like to keep things as simple as possible, and I wasn't a huge fan of wiring up my microphone and clipping it onto my shirt every time I needed to use it. And with wireless technology today, it's exciting, but I also know that I would be concerned and anxious about battery life when I have days of long recording sessions or coaching calls coming up, and if I forgot to charge the batteries the night before. Now, that's not to say that any of these products are bad per se, but they each have their specific place in the world. For USB dynamic microphones, podcasting, or I'll call it audio first productions, where you're in the studio to record, is a perfect place to get started as a beginner. The shotgun mics are excellent stationary video productions like YouTube videos where audio is important, but it's not the only thing that matters. And lapel microphones are excellent for mobile presentations like on-stage presentations or interviews where the subjects won't be completely stationary. All right, so that about wraps up this video, everyone, and I'm extremely curious to hear what you think. I'd love to hear which of the tests sounded best to you, and also which joke was your favorite, so be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me to subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, please click the like button, and if you didn't like it, click the dislike button twice, just to be extra sure. All right, guys, that's it, and I'll see you in the next video.